Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Do you remember the sutta you're learning? That's a deep one. Remember we finished the simile of the raft?
Yes, Bhante, we did.
So now we are learning, the Buddha is teaching us something new here after that explanation. Another Kalyana Mitta to read. So this is from the, remember the name of the sutta?
Simile of the snake,
Alagaddupama Sutta, simile of the snake. We finished maybe half of the sutta from the Majjhima Nikaya 22, sutta number 22. And now Buddha is going to teach something new here.
I will read, Bhante. Mendicants, there are these 6 grounds for views. What 6? Take an uneducated ordinary person who has not seen the noble ones and is neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of the noble ones. They've not seen good persons and are neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of good persons. They regard form like this. This is mine. I am this. This is myself. They also regard feeling, perception, choices, whatever is seen, heard, thought, known, sought, and explored by the mind like this. This is mine. I am this. This is myself. And the same for this ground for views. The self and the cosmos are one and the same. After death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and I will last forever and ever. They also regard this. This is mine. I am this. This is myself. But an educated, noble disciple has seen the noble ones and is skilled and trained in the teaching of the noble ones. They've seen good persons and are skilled and trained in the teaching of the good persons. They regard form like this. This is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. They also regard feeling, perception, choices, whatever is seen, heard, thought, known, sought, and explored by the mind like this. This is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. And the same for this ground for views. The self and the cosmos are one and the same. After death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and I will last forever and ever. They also regard this. This is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. Seeing in this way, they're not anxious about what doesn't exist. When he said this, one of the mendicants asked the Buddha, "Sir, can there be anxiety about what doesn't exist externally?" "There can, mendicant," said the Buddha. It's when someone thinks, "Oh, but it used to be mine, and it is mine no more. Oh, but it could be mine, and I will get it no more." They sorrow and pine and lament, beating their breast and falling into confusion. That's how there is anxiety about what doesn't exist externally. But can there be no anxiety about what doesn't exist externally? There can, mendicant, said the Buddha. It's when someone doesn't think, oh, but it used to be mine, and it is mine no more. Oh, but it could be mine, and I will get it no more. They don't sorrow and pine and lament, beating their breast and falling into confusion. That's how there is no anxiety about what doesn't exist externally. But can there be anxiety about what doesn't exist internally? There can, mendicant, said the Buddha. It's when someone has such a view. The self and the cosmos are one and the same. After death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. They hear the realized one or their disciple teaching Dhamma for the uprooting of all grounds, fixations, obsessions, insistence, and underlying tendencies regarding views, for the stilling of all activities, the letting go of all attachments, the ending of craving, fading away, cessation, extinguishment. They think, whoa, I'm going to be annihilated and destroyed. I won't exist anymore. They sorrow and pine and lament, beating their breast and falling into confusion. That's how there is anxiety about what doesn't exist internally. But can there be no anxiety about what doesn't exist internally? There can, said the Buddha. It's when someone doesn't have such a view. The self and the cosmos are one and the same. After death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. They hear the realized one or their disciple teaching Dhamma for the uprooting of all grounds, fixations, obsessions, insistences, and underlying tendencies regarding views, for the stilling of all activities, the letting go of all attachments, the ending of craving, fading away, cessation, extinguishment. It never occurs to them, whoa, I'm going to be annihilated and destroyed. I won't exist anymore. They don't sorrow and pine and lament, beating their breast and falling into confusion. That's how there is no anxiety about what doesn't exist internally.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading the word of the Buddha. Everybody understood? It is deep. Okay. So here, Buddha teaches about 6 grounds for views. And these are here wrong views. They are wrong views. So as I said, a putujjana, ordinary person, okay, and he hasn't seen the noble ones. He doesn't know about the Buddhas, enlightened monks. He doesn't know about the Four Noble Truths, okay. He doesn't know about Sappurisas. He doesn't follow the Dhamma. He's not skilled and trained in the Dhamma. And if somebody lives like that, this is the result. They regard form like this. This is the result of that kind of ordinary living. They regard the form. Form here means this body, anything made of 4 elements. They don't know that this is made of 4 elements and this body will go back to the earth. They don't know that. They consider this body is mine, this is I am, this is myself. That is the first view. What is the second view? They don't know how to investigate the connection between the contact, pleasant feeling, unpleasant contact, unpleasant feeling. Neutral contact, neutral feeling. They don't know how to investigate sense bases, contacts, feelings. So the result, they consider all the feelings in life. This is mine. I am feeling this. I am happy. I am sad. This is mine. This is myself. Again, they regard perception. Whatever he or she perceives with eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, they regard this is mine, this is I am, this is myself. That is the, so 1, 2, 3. This is the third view. And they regard the thoughts as mine, I am, myself. And that is the fourth. And this is the fifth. Whatever is seen, heard, thought, and sought, explored by the mind, so related to consciousness, they think this is mine, this I am, this is myself. And finally, the view of becoming permanent, eternal, everlasting. And they hold on to that view. They think this is true. I am going to be permanent after life. I'm going to be reunited with the creator God or gods, and I will be permanent. I will not die there. I will not grow old. I will not get sick. So they hold on to that view. That's the meaning of regarding this is mine, this view is mine, this is I am, this is myself. But in the case of an noble disciple here, he understands the Buddha's teachings. What is the result of understanding the Buddha's teachings deeply? They regard form in a different way. What is the different way? This body or anything made of 4 elements is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. So they understand the impermanence. Everything is subject to passing away, destruction. They understand. So they don't cling to it. They don't cling to feeling, saying this is mine, this is I am, this is myself. Because they understand there is no point of clinging to something impermanent, something that arises dependently. Because even though I cling to a certain feeling, I cannot keep it. When contact changes, feeling will change. And if I still want to hold on to that feeling, when it changes, I have to cry. I have to get upset. So they understand feeling is not mine, not I am, not myself. Perception, thoughts, whatever is seen, heard, and explored by the mind. This is not mine, this is I am, not, this is not myself. And finally, they understand this view is wrong. That after death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. This is the wrong view. So they don't cling to that. They understand this view is not mine, I am not, this is not myself. See how this life changes when that same being becomes a noble disciple? When the knowledge of the Dhamma enters that person's mind, the whole life is changed. The way he regards things, the views he holds, everything changes to the better. And one of the monks asked, Bhante, will sadness come to somebody when something external changes? Buddha said yes, because if something changes externally, external thing, but they own like something they own, they think, oh, this used to be mine and it is mine no more. Okay, I don't have this anymore. I lost it. Buddha says that is how people cry. See, it could be mine and I will get it no more. This is a normal thing like in our lives. this is one thing that leads to suffering. What is that? They sorrow, falling into confusion. This explains how people suffer when they lose what belongs to them. And some people, when they lose things, they don't think, oh, I had this, but I don't have it anymore. They don't think like that. They understand the impermanence, non-self nature, and they don't sorrow. Now we understand some of the reasons why we suffer, why we cry, because of this thinking pattern. If we keep thinking, oh, I had that, I don't have it anymore, oh, what happened to me, I was very unfortunate to lose that, then that may be a reason for our suffering, that thinking pattern. And then the monk asked, how about the agitation internally? Why would somebody be agitated internally? Buddha says, somebody thinks I'll be permanent after death, and a Kalyana Mitra would take that person to a monastery or to a monk, and the Buddha or the monk will teach the Dhamma, saying that no, there is nothing permanent and you're not going to live forever in any place. You're going to die, you're going to sick if you are reborn somewhere. And when that person, unwise person, hears that about Nibbana, he is shocked, he is agitated, he's, oh, then I am going to be annihilated, I am going to be destroyed, I'm not going to exist anymore. That is so sad, and he can't bear that. Because he thinks there is a soul in this life, a permanent soul, and it is going to be destroyed, and he cannot bear that. He doesn't know that he is still having a wrong view. It's not something like that. That's not what Buddha meant. Buddha didn't mean an extinguishment of a soul. What Buddha said was, there are causes for suffering. With the cessation of cause, and suffering will end. That's all. So he doesn't know how to analyze that. He takes that in a wrong way. And that applies to his own self-view. So he is very sad and he suffers a lot with that Dhamma. And another monk asked, the same monk asked, Bhante, how would somebody be not agitated internally? And Buddha said, when a wise person listens to the teachings of the Buddha about impermanence, about attaining Nibbana, about attaining Parinibbana, and about achieving the non-rebirth detachment, he understands well, and he doesn't cry. He doesn't get upset. Oh, I'm not going to be reborn again. Then what will happen to me? I'm not going to exist anymore. What will happen to me then? No, he doesn't question like that. He understands, as long as causes exist, suffering exists. When the causes are ceased, suffering will come to an end. That's the teaching of the Buddha. He doesn't try to describe Nibbana with a self-view. If you try to understand Nibbana within the self-view, that problem comes. Oh, I am not going to exist anymore. Then what will happen? Where would I go? That comes with that self-view. But Buddha says, Dukkhameva upajjamana upajjasi, dukkhameva nirujjamana nirujjati. What I teach is that if something arises, it is suffering. If something ceases, that is the cessation of suffering. That's all I teach. Buddha teaches. Did you understand?
Yes, Bhante.
Very good. Can another Kalanamitra read this? I think the next part also related to that conversation.
I can read Bhante.
Okay, Nina.
So,
Please,
mendicant.
please pay very close attention. This is really, really deep Dhamma, and if you pay close attention, you may be able to understand deep things.
Mendicants. It would make sense to be possessive about something that's permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. But do you see any such possession? No, sir. Good mendicants. I also can't see any such possession. It would make sense to grasp at a doctrine of self that didn't give rise to sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. But do you see any such doctrine of self? No, sir. Good mendicants. I also can't see such doctrine of self. It would make sense to rely on a view that didn't give rise to sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. But do you see any such view to rely on? No, sir. Good mendicants, I also can't see such view to rely on. Mendicants, were a self to exist, would there be the thought belonging to myself? Yes, sir. Where what belongs to a self to exist, would there be the thought myself? Yes, sir. But self and what belongs to a self are not acknowledged as a genuine fact. This being so is not the following a totally foolish teaching. The self and the cosmos are one and the same. After death, I will be permanent, everlasting, eternal, imperishable, and will last forever and ever. What else could it be, sir? It's a totally foolish teaching. What do you think, mendicants? It forms permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir.
Okay, so now let me explain something here. Now you can understand here, Buddha explains about the self-view, and Buddha says, if we cling to, if we have the idea of self, then we have the idea of something belonging to self. And Buddha says that is wrong. There is no such thing. And the view of a permanent life after death is also wrong. And after that explanation, now you see the meditation that we normally do regarding the 6 sense basis. So now you can understand why we should do that meditation frequently, because that is how Buddha would many times advise the monks with these meditation instructions, and we use the same during our insight meditations. Okay, go ahead.
Where was I, Bhante? But if what do you think, mendicants? Is form permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it's impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it's impermanent, suffering, and liable to fall apart, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. What do you think, mendicants? Is feeling, perception, choices, consciousness permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it's impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it's impermanent, suffering, and liable to fall apart, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. So, mendicants, you should truly see any kind of form at all, past, future, or present, internal or external, coarse or fine, inferior or superior, far or near, all form with right understanding. This is not mine, I'm not this is not myself. You should truly see any kind of feeling, perception, choices, consciousness at all, past, future, or present, internal or external, coarse or fine, inferior or superior, far or near, all consciousness with right understanding. This is not mine, I am not this is not myself.
Okay, so let me add here something. So this is very powerful. So this part is the insight meditation of the five groups of clinging. So if you really like to do insight meditation, you need to write this down, and you need to do this meditation. This is vipassana. You should truly see any kind of form. So you should contemplate on the impermanence of this body in this way, and whatever is made of four elements, which existed in the past, which will exist in future, which exists at present, internal form, external, coarse, fine, inferior, superior, far, near, all form made of four elements. You have to understand with right understanding. This is not mine. This is impermanent. This is not myself, right? So that's why we do that meditation during our vipassana guided meditation. We use this because this is directly from the Buddha, and this is the way to attain stages of enlightenment, to become a stream entrant, once return and non-return, and arahant. What is made of four elements should be understood in this way. And again, you should truly see any kind of feeling. We use this part as well in our insight meditation. Need to investigate the impermanence, non-self nature of feelings, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feelings, neutral feelings, and that's why we do starting from contact, 6 sense basis, contact, feeling. We try to investigate. Feeling is born of impermanent contact, so contact is impermanent, feeling is also impermanent. Like that we do in our meditation is because of this part taught by the Buddha, because of this sentence. So we need to investigate the true nature of feeling, perception, thoughts, consciousness in the same way, whether they were in the past, future, or present. So this is very powerful, and we use this part in our meditations because it was said by the Buddha. This is the way to develop vipassana. And you see, during our programs, we don't do anything that you cannot find in a sutta taught by the Buddha. So all these meditations we develop, we encourage people to do, are found in the direct words of the Buddha. So you can, with great confidence of the enlightenment of the Buddha, you can practice these meditations and you will see the results. You will gain the results. And if noble disciples practice this meditation, Buddha explains the result. This is the result. Can somebody read the result? Who is fortunate to read the result?
I can read Bhante.
Raymond?
Yes, Bhante, I can read.
Okay.
Seeing this, a learned noble disciple grows disillusioned with form, feeling, perception, choices, and consciousness. Being disillusioned, desire fades away. When desire fades away, they are freed. When they are freed, they know they are freed. They understand. Rebirth is ended. The spiritual journey has been completed. What had to be done has been done. There is no return to any state of existence.
Sadhu, sadhu. That is the arahantship, end of suffering, end of rebirth. And how it happens? Seeing this. Seeing what? Seeing this. Seeing this. 5 groups of clinging in this way. This is impermanent. This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. Seeing their causes and conditions. Seeing how causes and conditions arise, form, feeling, perception, thoughts, consciousness arise, and how causes cease, how they cease. Understanding that with developed wisdom. That is the meaning of seeing this. Isn't that very clear and straightforward? Yeah.
Yes, Bhante.
Now you can you understand that without learning the deep Dhamma, it is impossible to attain stages of enlightenment? Yeah, we need to learn deep Dhamma about 5. It's not just learning the words, form, feeling, perception, thoughts and consciousness. You have to understand, you have to study many suttas about why form is not mine, why feeling is not mine, why perception is not mine, why thoughts are not mine, why consciousness is not mine. You have to study many discourses where Buddha explains why. So during your insight, the vipassana meditation, wise consideration, you have to use that knowledge. But to do that wise consideration, you need a clear mind. That's why we need to practice samatha. The techniques to calm the mind down, the technique to concentrate the mind. Otherwise, when the mind is carried away by sense desires, anger, sleepiness, restlessness, doubt, how can you contemplate on deep things about life? So you need both clarity and wisdom, samatha, vipassana. Very clear. And then Buddha gives the similes of an arahant. I think we can discuss about those next time. Beautiful similes to the life of an arahant. And okay, any questions? So that was a deep section of the sutta. Anyway, you were interested, I guess, and very deep. But those monks were fortunate to understand it at that time with the Buddha.
One question, Bhante, and it's probably not very deep. Maybe it comes up over and over, but I'd like to know a little bit more about, they repeat internal or external. I'm not really clear there. Coarse or fine, inferior or superior, far or near. There's a repetition there that.
Yeah, it's not a difficult thing to understand. After you know it, you think, oh, that's a very easy thing, simple thing to understand. So, for example, whatever is considered as mine is called internal. For example, if we go to the form, rupa, the objects that is made of 4 elements, what do we call as mine? This hair, skin, teeth, flesh, blood, and these parts. There are certain parts we call mine, right?
I call this pen mine.
Yeah. So whatever is considered as internal, okay, that is called ajhatika. And now we call the trees, buildings, the ground, we call that is external. And other people, we call them other people. But what happens when our hair falls and their hair falls? They go to the same place. Now, can we separate? This is my hair, this is his or hair, her hair. It becomes the same earth element. So this is where we need to break that delusion. That's why this Vipassana meditation helps us to break that delusion. There is no such thing in reality that we can call mind. You cannot separate this is mine, that is others. This is mine, that is external. You understand?
So there is no internal and external. There's no difference.
There's no difference. That's what we need to understand through this meditation. And Buddha says that Yacha Adhyattika Pathavi Dhatu, whatever is considered as internal earth element, Yacha Bahira Pathavi Dhatu, whatever is considered as external Pathavi Dhatu Revesa, both is the same.
So it's a delusion. The idea of internal and external would be like a delusion.
Exactly. That is the thing that that delusion is the thing that creates suffering in our life. And once that delusion is gone, suffering will be stopped.
Does that apply to coarse and fine, inferior, superior, far, or near?
Yeah, because those are the areas where we have craving for. So we have craving for internal things, we have craving for external things. And coarse and fine means, if we think about the form, because it is applied to form, feeling, perception. Did you see the repetition? It goes to all the 5 groups of clinging. So if we go to form, what is coarse form? He has craving for coarse, gross form, and that is the form of the human beings, form of the animals, the gross type of forms. And he has craving for that, and he has to abandon craving for those kind of gross forms. And the fine or subtle forms means forms of the heavenly beings. And craving is there in somebody's mind for those subtle forms as well. So he has to understand, no, all those subtle forms, that means lives of heavenly beings, lives of Brahmas are also impermanent. They are also made up of 4 elements. They also subject to change. Those lives are also, the bodies are also impermanent and not mine, not I am, not myself. So it covers everything where somebody can have craving for. Far or near, we have craving for things that are near, so we have to investigate the true nature. And we have craving for things far away, we have to, because now we think sometimes we have a house far away, maybe in a far away country, but we have craving here for that house. So we have to eliminate that craving too by investigating the true nature of Yadure Santikeva. Whatever form exists far away or near, impermanent, not mine, not I am, not myself. We have to give that message to the mind. So I think in another Deep Dhamma class, we can discuss all those things, Atita, Atitanagata, Pachupanna, Ajata, Bahida, Hina, Panita, Olarika, Sukuma, Yang Dure, Santikeva. We can learn about the meaning of all those things. For now, you can understand those are the areas where somebody has craving for. You cannot say, I have craving only for my body. No. You cannot say, I have craving for only the house that I live in. Now Buddha explains everywhere we have craving. We have to investigate the true nature and abandon craving for all. Because some may have craving for the some may think, okay, I have craving for human body, but that's not true because that person have craving for heavenly bodies as well, right? So they have to abandon craving for each and every form that exists within this range. And sometimes we have craving for past forms that existed in the past. We still have craving, right? Somebody, one of our loved ones lived in the past and that person passed away, but still we have craving. We have to investigate that one, that past form as well, and we have to abandon craving. So the entire area is covered. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Very good.
Bhante, can I ask a question, please? Sorry if it doesn't make sense. It's just
okay.
Short time I've understood about this non-self. When a Bhante, a monk achieves arahantship, then we were saying another time that the nibbana is permanent, right? Permanent. And
that
then,
means the state of the mind, you don't need to redo it.
Oh, so I was thinking, then what happens to that consciousness? Who does it belong?
So you had the same question that was described in that sutta. Remember in that sutta? So how true the word of the Buddha? Because Buddha said some people have this idea when I teach the Dhamma about extinguishment, about Nibbana, about stealing formations. Some people are really, they are scared. What will happen to me? Where will my consciousness go? What will happen to my life? I'm not going to exist anymore. Oh, that is very sad. Same thing, right?
It's not sad. No, it's not sad, but it's a little confusing. What happens to that?
No, it happens because we think there is a self. There is me living. When we have that wrong view in the first place, then comes the question, then what will happen to me if I attend Nibbana? Where was the mistake? At the beginning. At the beginning, you thought there is a me, myself, I am. But at the beginning, if you think there is no mind, no I am, not myself, there are causes and conditions for this life. And when these causes and conditions cease, the life will be ceased. That means life with the result, suffering will be ceased. So you have to correct the beginning.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I am amazed of the enlightenment of the Buddha because Buddha knew how our mind works. As soon as we finish the sutta, the same thing came to mind. So it's really amazing how Buddha realized how our mind works, right? So you can place confidence in the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha knew all the secrets going on in this mind, and he already revealed everything, right? So you can place more confidence in these very wise teachings. And the other advice is for that is everybody must keep studying the teachings, deep Dhamma. At this point, if you feel kind of like confused and okay, what will happen? But gradually you will understand this cause and effect mechanism, non-self nature, and it's a practice, it's a training. It takes time, right? It needs lots of Dhamma knowledge. It needs wise consideration. It needs development of mindfulness. It needs samatha vipassana. So it is okay for people to come with that questions, and it's normal because we are in the beginning of the path. we need to associate with Kalyana Mittas, learn the Dhamma, keep precepts, practice 8 precepts, and little by little we will understand the non-self nature, cause and effect mechanism. If we try to understand everything in the beginning, it's not right. It's a path. So another thing is patience. You need patience. Daniel?
Bhante, I also have a question, Bhante. It's actually, I'm focusing on these 3 actually. This is mine, I am this is myself, right? The part is etang mama, eso hamasmi, eso me attati, right? So I'm just wondering, is this like 3 different concepts, or is it the same thing said in 3 different ways?
It's related to the same thing, kind of, to understand the delusion of self nature. Yeah, this is mine, I am, this is myself. So it's kind of explaining the same idea of the view of self, that we have some control over things. The same idea is explained in different words, we can say.
So Bhante, is this related to anatta or sakkaya ditthi?
Yes, sakkaya is a part of the anatta. And this is related to anatta and sakkaya ditthi.
Okay.
Yeah, so because sakkaya ditthi is also eliminated when one does this contemplation.
Okay.
There are other suttas in the Samyutta Nikaya. Buddha explains this is the exact same way to abandon sakkaya ditthi as well. Understanding this is not mine, this is not I am, this is not myself, is the way to abandon sakkaya ditthi as well. Identity. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy that you are interested in the deep Dhamma, and it's a very rare thing in the world. Do you have a final question?
Yes, Bhante. Bhante, I want to ask about from the Sutta, 6 grounds for few. Few of form, few of feeling, few of perception, few of choices, few of consciousness. Would you please explain what is the number 6?
Number 6 is the last one. There is a permanent life after death.
What does it mean, Bhante?
The permanent life after death. Did you see that? Did you see that in the paragraph, the last one? Barry, did you see?
Yes.
What is that, Barry?
It's in the last paragraph.
Yeah, in the same paragraph that the Buddha explained the 6 views after the form, feeling, perception, volition, and what is seeing, heard, sorted. And after that, the next one is the view of self, the permanent life after death.
Well, you have permanent life after.
Okay. The permanent life after death.
So in total, there are 6.
Okay, Bhante. I understand now. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Sadhu. So we pay homage to our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, who had excellent wisdom to reveal all the hidden things in this life. Sadhu. We share merit with our teacher, Loka Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu. We share merit with all the devas. We share merit with our teachers, parents, family members, Kalyana Mittas, and with all beings. Sadhu. Abhivadana Silissa Nichang Madha Pachayino Shattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvanno Sukambalan Ayurarogya sampatti sabga sampatti memacha. Atho nibbana sampatti minate samijjato. Sukhi.
Okasa wanami Bante.
Ayak katan punyam. Tamina anumoditabam. Tamina
katan punyam.
ayat
Sadhu sadhu anumodami. Okasa
kamatami Bante.
Okasa
Tutiyampi upasamani Bante. Tatiyampi upasamani.
Sukhi hoto, sukhi hoto.